Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Meshmatic. Today we are going to convert this CAD model into a mesh so we can use it in a VR project in a game engine. So let's start by importing the model into Meshmatic. Start using Meshmatic and I can add the model from here. All right. Anytime you import anything into Meshmatic, the import assistant window pops up and it asks you a few questions for the conversion and optimization. The first question is, what is the resolution you need? And you can choose from very low to very high. Of course, very high is really good for film or animation rendering, and very low is very good for scalable projects, especially for VR. And I usually start with very low, and if I need more resolution, I'll come back and choose something different. But for now, I'm just going to choose very low. And I'm also going to choose 4 LODs for this conversion. Let's go to next. Next step is the outliner or the hierarchy. In this step, you can choose to merge and combine some of the meshes in your file. And if you look here, you have about 10 to 12 parts in the SolidWorks model, which is not a big number. But imagine if you had about 100 parts. That would be much more difficult, especially for VR project real-time rendering. This tool allows you to combine those parts and make your file easier to convert, to optimize, and to render. But for now, because my model only has about 10 meshes in it, I'm going to go with default, and I'm going to choose extract for the smart parts. What this tool does is it finds all those small meshes that are not even visible in a VR simulation and saves them in a separate file for you. So I'm just going to choose extract and go to next. In this step, the software is asking if you prefer a very smooth looking mesh or a sharp looking mesh. The difference between these two is usually sharp meshes are very easy to render, but when you choose smooth, there are gonna be more calculation required for smooth mesh normals. So it makes your file a little more expensive to render. What I usually do is I usually use average. It calculates the hard edges, like very sharp corners, and applies smoothness to them. And if the surface doesn't have that much curvature, it avoids them. So it's usually does a good job for me. And I'm going to go with average for now. And because this is a CAD to mesh conversion, and I need to use this mesh in a game engine, I definitely need a UV. So I'm just going to check on the auto UV generator and go next. This is the final step. In this step, it's asking what file formats do you prefer to save this as, and I'm going to choose FBX from all these options. Here it's asking where do you choose to save the export. This is the default, and of course you can always select a different folder. And to be organized, I can choose to save everything in a subfolder. And now I need to select a name for all the settings that I made. So I'm going to say SolidWorks to FBX for VR visualization and save this profile. If I need to use the same settings for future files, I can always reuse the profile without going through the previous steps. Let's click add. Now the file is ready and it's being added to the queue. You can see the source file, some other information, number of LODs, the profile you made, the file format, and the original file size. Let's click on optimize. This test step takes about a few seconds or usually up to 2 minutes. All right, the file is ready. I can see the result. This is LOD 0, LOD 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can see LOD 0 has about 65,000 faces, whereas LOD 4 has about 35,000 faces. I can just click on the file name here, and it will open the file explorer. I can open this in a fixed viewer. Obviously, the file is sitting on the side, and that's just the difference between CAD and mesh axes. But if I go to wireframe mode, I can see this is a little too much number of faces for real-time visualization. So I'm going to go and check LOD4. Okay, I don't see any deformation, so that's perfect. And if I go to wireframe mode, I can see this is an optimized amount of faces for the converted CAD. And I think I'm going to start with this one for VR visualization. So that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel for future updates, and I hope to see you in the next video.